I'll admit it, when it comes to One Piece, I'm sort of a noob, but that isn't gonna stop me from telling you my incredible story of action, adventure, friendship, and everything in between in Blox Fruits. Seriously guys, I've gotten very addicted to this game recently. Please help. But back to my story. It all started where every aspiring pirate begins, the Pirate Starter Island. Here, I learned the basics of combat, I bought my very first sword, leveled up some of my stats, purchased my first ever boat, and set sail on my very first island expedition. I didn't expect to arrive at my island so soon, but nonetheless, we're here and it's time to explore. Oh, hello monkey. Ah, bad monkey! Bad monkey! It turns out monkeys are not as friendly as Curious George led us to believe. They're actually horrible, bloodthirsty animals. Anyways, I completed my quests, leveled up my stats, and even fought the Gorilla King. He was big, he was powerful, he was smelly. And it took everything I had to defeat him, but we were victorious. And just before leaving the island, I found a guy who would sell me my very first devil fruits. Unfortunately, it wasn't a good one. Now, with the power of the devil fruit and with the confidence of Luffy, I was ready to continue my adventure to the very next island. So we set sail once again, this time for the pirate village, full of various pirates who all wanted to claim my bounty. Luckily, with my new fruit, I made quick work of these pirates and continued onward until I fought the leader of this island, Bobby. Oh, one quick side note, you should definitely upgrade your sword here if you can, and if you are using swords. Now then, Bobby was huge, and he was a tough boss, but we were able to match his power, and eventually we defeated him. And it was time to move on once again. The pirate life is a life of constant travel, conquering islands with the ultimate goal of becoming the king of the pirates. Sorry, Luffy, but I'm coming for that title. Next island I found was the Desert Island. This island didn't really offer much in the way of a challenge. I defeated some bandits, then some officers, and made my way forward onto the frozen village. Here is where I met some epic friends who would accompany us throughout my entire journey through the First Sea. These guys were part of the Capybara Bandits crew, Dante, their leader, aka Evil Dash, King Joel, and Capybara. I also made friends with some other guys outside of the crew named Inferno and Hashiro too. This is where Blox Fruits starts to become absolutely epic, and also where my addiction starts. Honestly, playing with friends makes Blox Fruits 1000% more fun. Not only did they make the level grind infinite times faster by lowering all the mobs for me, but we talked, laughed, and we helped new players along the way as well. This new crew of friends showed me so much about the game, how to get my own hockey such as air jump and aura, and by the way, you can get those from this guy. He is super useful, 10 out of 10 recommend. After beating the somewhat difficult Snow Yeti boss, we managed to move forward into the Marine Fortress, one of my favorite areas in the beginning of the game. We had to fight many officers and worked our way up to fighting the Vice Admiral himself. This fight felt super easy, and once we were done here, Dante, the friend we made earlier, used his teleport fruit to take us to the Skylands instantly. Such a cool ability, by the way. As we ascended to the heavens, our goal became clear. We now need to defeat Sky Bandits and Dark Masters. Also, this is kind of where I feel like the grind starts, and no, I'm not even gonna think about the thousands of levels ahead of me yet. So anyways, I decided we needed to speed things up and purchased many game passes. Let's just say that I had Robux once. Now I am broke. But nevertheless, we were grinding faster than ever before, and before I knew it, we were at the upper Skylands area already. From here, we progressed to the jail, where I feel like I spent half the day repeating the same quest over and over. The grind was real, but so was the addiction to getting levels, so we kept on going. Nothing was gonna stop us from reaching the second sea today, and before we knew it, we were done at the jail, and it was time to move forward to the Coliseum. This was my favorite area ever, because I finally got my first taste at real PvP, and I even won my first fight. Also, I really love the rubber fruit abilities, just wanted to say that. I loved the Coliseum area, but eventually it was time to keep going forward. We still have so much more to see, but before we do go to the next island, the crew told me of a quest to get a new weapon. Next up, the crew showed me how to get a sweet new Saber from completing a puzzle quest in the Jungle Island. We had to press a bunch of buttons around the island and went inside a secret area. Here, I grabbed a torch and headed to the desert island. I visited a collapsed house and went into a secret room holding my torch. We then grabbed a cup, went to the frozen village, into the cave where the ability teacher is, and filled the cup. From there, we went to the sick man in the village and gave it to him. Then we went to the pirate village, we talked to the rich man and defeated a mob leader on a secret island. We then had to go back to the rich man. He gave us a relic. We used that relic on the door near the Blox Fruit guy. And there was a Saber expert who I defeated to get his Saber. Armed with the new Saber, I was ready to take on the Magma Village Island. We spent a lot of time here defeating soldiers, and eventually we even took out the Magma Admiral boss as well. Next stop, the underwater city. This area was super cool. We had to fight these strange looking fishmen, and eventually we met the fishman lord himself. Insanely strong, but we worked together and we took him out. Also, while I was here, someone showed me a secret area where a water kung fu teacher was. He taught me a new combat style, and I strongly suggest you guys get this too. Now we are ready to head back to the Skylands, but this time we are headed to the upper area. We are going to be here for a very long time, between levels 450 to 625, so we are grinding. There are plenty of different NPCs to move on from, and eventually we will be taking on one of our most difficult challenges, the toughest boss. Even Luffy had a hard time with him in the show, so this is going to be big. Before we get to this epic finale fight, just make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new. I'm going to be posting tons of Blox Fruit content in the future, so stick around, and yeah, let's get back into this. One thing you will absolutely need is that instinct that we talked about earlier. You guys gotta get that first. Make sure you have it and make sure it is enabled for this fight. Otherwise, you will just not be able to do enough damage to the lightning god to defeat him. Now we are finally getting towards the end of C1 with just one island left to explore. This is the Fountain Island, one of the most popular amongst the grinding players. We will be here for a short while we farm our way through the galley pirates until we make it to level 675, where we will finally fight Cyborg, and after we defeat Cyborg, we will have a quest to complete to unlock C2. And there we go. After all this time, grinding all day long with the help of many other crewmates, we finally accomplished the unthinkable. In less than 12 hours, we have completed level 1 to level 700. And yes, I know some of you might say it couldn't be possible without Robux, and that is very true. It is definitely harder without Robux, so credit to all of you guys for grinding this game out without it. I just wanted to do it as fast as I could, so that is why we grinded with Robux. But we have one more task, one simple quest left to complete before we can venture to C2. So guys, let's get that done. Now that we are level 700, we must head to the prison and speak with the military detective, who is going to ask us to go to the frozen village. We head there with a key given to us by the detective, and we find the Ice Admiral. We defeat him and we head back to tell the detective. He then tells us that the Dawn Swan has escaped to the Second Sea. Now the final thing we need to do is head to the middle town and talk to the experienced captain, who will now take us to C2. And there you have it, guys. In just 8 minutes, we have made it to the Second Sea. Nah, I'm just kidding. It did take a bunch of time, but I can't believe this video was only 8 minutes long. Guys, it definitely took me a long time to make this, so please leave it a big thumbs up. It helps a lot. And yeah, tons of new Blox Fruit videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you all in the next one.